Hello everyone. Because of the situation that's going on right now, I decided that I was going to go to my cabin and relax a little bit. So my cabin is built on a lake, and it was actually built in the late 60s and early 70s by my grandfather and my uncle, who were an electrician and an engineer respectively. Now, I absolutely love to have this opportunity to come down here because I really am at one with nature. So I figured I'd show you guys a little bit of my lake and a little bit of the vintage charm that the cabin has. It's a little bit rustic, if you want to call it that, in that my family doesn't really give this place a lot of love. So I am actually the one that comes down here, tries to clean up a little bit, tries to maintain what I can. This is one of our boats. This is our rowboat that I'm actually going to be taking onto the lake. This is another one of our boats, but we haven't touched it in years, obviously. Our cabin actually got slightly destroyed during Sandy, so I'm hoping that we're going to be able to repair the dock and bring this place back to its former glory. Everything that's here is actually from the early 70s, most likely. Some of it is early 80s, and some of it's also late 60s, but the majority of it is early 70s. But I'm so excited. There are so many different things to do around here, ranging from collecting carnivorous plants like sundews, which I'm actually going to be doing later, along with going fishing in the boats. So I'm actually going to head over and do that, and then I'll give you guys a quick little tour of the rustic 1970s cabin. These are sundews. They are carnivorous plants. You can find them. Right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually. There we go. This is a vintage bucket. That bucket over here goes into this bucket over here. And you use that to go ice fishing. You put minnows inside that bucket over there. And then you put them in here so that they can actually swim around and have some water. But yes, there we go. The actual cabin itself, which is a sad excuse for not a dilapidated shack, and that's my dad right there. Perfect. There are a few different pieces around this cabin that are actually pretty special. I really just like the wood paneling. I know that wood paneling can seem pretty old-fashioned to a lot of people, but I love it in this atmosphere because it makes it feel like a cabin here. This actually originally started as a trapper's cabin, and my family did a lot of hunting, and so my dad and my grandfather would come out here in the middle of the woods, in the middle of scenic nowhere, and come to have a good time. This place isn't insulated, so they couldn't actually use it year-round, so it adds a little bit more to the charm that you can only have it for certain times of the year. You can actually turn off the water because it's going to be too cold to do anything with it in the winter. You have a whole bunch of different things. I actually cleaned this place out a fair bit. So if you see anything, that's me in the process of actually trying to clear it out because it hasn't been used in about 20 years? Yeah, about 20 years it hasn't been used. So I had to clean out about an inch worth of dust from the ground alone, not to mention all the junk that was piled in here. I'm not talking about cool antiques, but I'm talking about junk. So I feel like I've made this place a little homier, and right now I kind of have it decorated for Christmas time because the last time I was here I had it decked out for the holidays, even though I don't spend the holidays here because it's not insulated. But you know, I think it brings a little bit of charm here if you see all the Christmas decorations when you come back in the spring to check the place out. It makes you feel a little happy, especially now when we didn't expect to be in lockdown, so it was nice to just come in and have something cheerful to remind you that good things are around. Over here we actually have a little mail holder that I added. I also added in this coat hanger, but we don't ever have coats except for the fall, so we also don't have mail because we don't live here all year round, but I thought that was cute. I'm probably gonna add it to the wall a little bit later. We have a double bed. This actually used to be a handmade bed. I got rid of that because it was falling apart. Like, it was just not stable, so I replaced it with this double bed. It allows us to use up more of the space here. And we have this antique, well, vintage first aid kit, and we don't actually use it for first aid supplies. We use it for ice fishing tip-ups, so I guess I'm kind of a liar. We occasionally do come here to do some ice fishing, but we haven't done that in a little bit. So we use this for the tip-ups, or we used to use this for the tip-ups, and when we did come here for that, we had portable little electric space heaters that we would use in here, but it was very rare. Usually we just hid in the car with the heat on because this place isn't insulated. So that's that. That's a picture of me practicing my archery when I was younger. Some bottles. And over here in the corner we have our trapping and fishing basket. You'd throw your pelts and everything in there and just carry it on your back. A lot of people still do. Those are actually really expensive now, but I really like that. I'll bring that thing camping sometimes just to put stuff in it and put it on my back and get ready to go. I don't know why this chair over here is one of my favorite things, but it's got that very 1970s, late 60s vibe for it, because that's when it was made. And this table lamp, along with this really nice little table. That's actually, the table and the lamp are all one piece, and I just love that. It looks so very mid-century modern, even though it's from the 60s. So we got this from next door, actually, or a few doors down, actually. There was a family that was moving away, and they were selling it at their garage sale, so we got that for $5. I think it adds a little bit of character to the place. It's so... In the kitchen, I tried to put a few interesting touches. I'm a big Addams Family fan, so we have our little magnets here on the fridge. It says, I couldn't make it Friday. I have many things to do. It's Friday the 13th, you know. And up here, she's asking for sugar, and she's like, may I borrow a cup of cyanide? And that's the door to the bathroom, which has not been remodeled yet, so I'm not going to show that to you guys. that's it. This house is just filled with a whole bunch of little antiques, whether or not they came from the actual house or they were stuff I got at garage sales. Some of the things are family pieces. And then over here we have my dad's old-fashioned jump rope. Oh my gosh, my dad used to jump rope a lot when he was really young, and he would use this leather jump rope or a bunch of other leather jump ropes, and he would count how many jump ropes he or how many jumps he had done, and he would write that on different you know, the jump rope handles. But it got to the point where he just jumped so much that he would count hours instead of times he jumped. So yeah, my dad was pretty dedicated. He did that when he was doing taekwondo. This is our shed. Oh my gosh. We have our really cute life preserver, some old life jackets over there. Over there's a part we had, we used to keep bees here, but the bears kept on eating them, so we had to stop keeping our bees here. Even when we had an electric fence, it just didn't work. We have our net for fishing. We have baskets or some poles. A lawnmower, oh my gosh, tackle box, trapping kits, oh my gosh, you name it, it's in here. There's even a sled in here. Maybe they went sledding and did stuff in the winter here, but like, I never did. My dad never told me that he did, but if there's a sled here, I'm willing to bet there was some sledding going around somewhere.